Mr. Secretary, can you please take the roll?
Ms. Cherry?
Present.
Dr. Connors?
Present.
Mrs. Cordino?
Here.
Mr. King?
Here.
Mrs. Lane?
Here.
Ms. Rashid? Mrs. Salgado Cowan?
Present.
Ms. Scotto?
Here.
Ms. Smith?
Here.
We have 8 present.
Thank you, Mr. Secretary. Hereby it be known that the Piscataway Township Board of Education has complied with the notification requirements of the Open Public Meetings Act of the announcement of this meeting, date and place on April the 30th, 2023 in the following manner. Posting of the public notice on the posting board for the Board of Education in the Administration Building. Email notification to the newspapers serving Piscataway, the Home News Tribune, and the Courier News. Email notification filed with the municipal clerk at the municipal building on Hose Lane. This meeting is being videotaped. This recording is not an official record or supplement to the minutes. Is intended only as a source of information that the public might utilize at a later date to familiarize itself with the board's activities. Executive session. Be it resolved that the board adjourn to executive session for the purpose of review and discussion of the personnel agenda, litigation, HIB monthly reports, and other matters pursuant to law NJSA 10:4-12B. Have a motion?
Motion.
Can I get a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
We are in executive session. Be it resolved that the board reconvenes back to public session. Can I have a motion?
Motion.
Second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
We're back in public session. Good evening, everyone. Thank you for coming out tonight. We're going to start off with our student presentation. Our student presentation tonight will be brought to us by the Randolphville Elementary School. The students will be performing 2 songs from their upcoming winter sing-along with some of their classmates' beautiful artwork and acting as a backdrop. Here's Principal Avi Slifko to tell us more.
Thank you. Do I stand over here? Where do you want? I feel like I should be turning around in circles. So. Go bad with my back.
That's okay.
I apologize.
They're
We're
more
good.
important than we
We're
are. Don't
good.
worry.
I want to welcome everybody and appreciate the board and everybody in central office for having us from Randolphville. Interesting vignette when it was brought to us that we had the opportunity to present it to the board. I didn't say, hey, Mr. Warden, can you do this? I presented it to all the special area teachers. And I'm like, guys, decide amongst yourselves, anybody interested, let me know. And very indicative of the way that teachers work at Randolphville. It wasn't just one teacher who wanted to be a part of it, but we had Mr. Warden and Ms. McGinnis who both volunteered to do it together, both as an art presentation as well as a musical presentation. The school year has a lot of different seasons and ups and downs and different vibes throughout parts of the year. This part of the year at Randolphville is very warm, very thankful, very close-knit. It's just a time to reflect and really be together and appreciate each other. And I think that that is a big part of what you're going to hear this evening. Really wanted to bring some of that flavor, some of that feeling to you, and get an idea of what it's like at Randolphville this time of year through the music. So I'm going to ask Mr. Warden to talk a little bit more about what we're doing, and again, give a big appreciation to Ms. McGinnis for the beautiful backdrop that we have from our students that are also helping set the tone. I will say, and this is going to audience as well as board members in central office, correct me if I'm wrong, I mean, this is an inclusive sing-along. We want to have everybody participating as much as possible, right? So the more, other than me, the more voices we hear. All right, Mr. Warden, please, thank you so much. Thank you, guys.
Hello! Thank you so much for coming. I don't have much to say other than we're so excited. When we picked these 3 songs together, it's some of their favorite songs, and we added some movements, and there's a little twist for our last song. We'll be doing 3 songs. The holiday season, Here Comes the Snow, and a song called Jingle Jive, which I'll talk more about when we get to it. So, if that's it, we'll get started. Facing this way.
You make it look better. You make it look good.
No
Way
doubt.
better. Way better.
Yeah, way better.
Oh, the holiday season is here at last. There's a twinkle in the air. Celebrate the future. leave a place of water falling down on us tonight. Staying by the fireside or bundle up and go outside. Down the road upon a sleigh, just having fun this winter day. Down the hill upon a sleigh, let's snuggle in a winter bed. Falling, falling down, 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 down. Falling, falling down, down, down. Here comes the snow. It's falling down. It's falling gently upon the ground. Here comes the snow. It's falling down. It leaves a blanket upon the ground, ground, ground. Snow, 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 snow. Peacefully the flakes of white are falling down on us tonight. Staying by the fireside or bundle up and go outside. Down the road upon a sleigh, just having fun this winter day. Down the hill upon a sleigh, let's snuggle in a winter bed. Falling, falling down, 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 down. Falling, falling down, down, down. Here comes the snow.
So our next song is called Jingle Jive, and there's a little twist to this song. For the first time, you might recognize it. We sing it normally. But for the second time when we repeat it, I'm going to have you all sing with me. So get ready. So you'll recognize the song. They'll show you how it's done first, and then I'll help you out. So enjoy.
Anyway.
Dashing through the snow in a one-horse open sleigh. O'er the fields we go, laughing all the way.
costume design.
But what's most important, you came here and you performed for us, and we really appreciate it. We want to thank the parents. But most importantly, showing the community the diversity within Piscataway and what it looks like. So on behalf of the Board of Education, I want to present everyone with a certificate that will have your name on it with today's date and have all of the music teacher, I'm going to hand it to him one by one. He'll call your name, you'll stand in the middle, and then at the end, we'll all take a group picture together.
Good job. And just so you know, certificates will also be back at the school for the wonderful artists who did this. Thank you very much for your participation as well. It's been great. This is fantastic. So.
Julie Smith. Don Biami. Mary Wendell Brown. Sean Lawson. Leo's not here. Ariel Brown. Ava Baltimore. Frankie Fernandez. Tyler Peralta. Prisha Patel. Bill Campbell. David Granger. Morgan Villanueva. Gia. Alright, we're gonna scooch it, scooch it.
Two rows. Put the small ones in the front. All right, working it out.
We're gonna get them moved over, Pat. Now you can see him?
All right, everybody ready?
Yes.
Everybody look at me. Can I see everybody's face?
Happy holidays.
Say happy holidays.
Get all the parents.
Get all the parents, get it?
Wait.
Okay, wait, for your parents, for your parents. Faces, don't cover your faces.
Pull your little certificates down, put them on your stomach.
Hey. Parents want faces.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, Randolphville. Thank you.
Thank you.
Happy holidays.
Good job. All right, sir.
Mr. Norton.
What more fitting time to do it than,
Literally, my last one.
right?
And also, like, I went to this especially in Piscataway.
Okay, all
Right,
right.
like this.
Stay right there, no problem.
I will say that they feel your song.
Anybody else? No, stay put. I got this. I'll direct them. Just line up. We'll get you done.
I don't know. Oh, no, it's not.
You're welcome.
The name.
I know Dad told you. Come on.
There's something fun to me about
Appreciate you guys having us today. Thank you.
Tremendous doc.
Of course.
Pat, like I said, I'll have Melissa email you once it takes place, okay?
And you guy, you don't remember me. Great is each kid has their own personality. You could see each kid's personality now that's recorded, right? That little kid with the tie. Right? He was all like, you know, he was.
That kid's going places.
No, literally, I was like, here's stage president. He's going stage president.
Little guy had a red tie.
Yeah, he had a lot of like, yeah, he had a lot of, he was all, he was in.
Now it's time for our audit report.
Oh, someone left their coat. No, it's probably, that little girl
there was
was in there.
a-
She had on the dress. she had
Yeah,
the
right
braid.
there. She's coming back right now.
Aw. There she is, with the, yeah, she had that pretty plaid dress with the braids. Oh, I love that. I know, that's a good one. That is a, like your, that is your typical perfect holiday dress. Yes, it is. Oh, yeah, you're an auditor. I remember her from last year. Again.
Oh,
Look
wow.
at mine while we go through.
She live and learn from it.
All right, I don't know how we follow that, so we're done?
And cancel all the rest of the presentations, don't worry about
How
it.
we follow that?
Dave's gonna sing for
Yeah,
us
Dave,
also.
you're gonna sing, Dave?
Oh, well, you're gonna have to wait in line for that one. All right, back on the agenda, we're gonna go to the student representatives for him.
Good evening, everyone. I hope you're all doing well. Tanvi's not here today, so you're gonna have to listen to me talk double the amount. Sorry, not sorry.
I think you can handle it.
He says sorry, not sorry. So, high school programming, as always, has been amazing. The ICCA recently held their annual Garba Night, which was amazing. I know many students came out, and it was a lot of fun. Just a bunch of different cultures coming together. And then also the last night, the Piscataway High School Choir had a concert, and I unfortunately couldn't go, but I heard they put on an amazing show, and the fact that it was so many student-led performances, I heard it was amazing. The National Honor Society had its induction ceremony for the fall cohort of inductees, and including Convy, and I know Dr. Vanelli was there, Dr. Connors, and it was just an amazing night, and I know we had more inductees this year than last year, which was amazing. The Girl Up Club held their sanitary drive. It ended, and so they collected a bunch of donations to donate to local women's shelters. The Chiefs for Christ held a toy drive, and they collected a bunch of toys, and they also donated them. And with so many extracurricular activities going on, since they extend until like 3 p.m., we obviously have late buses, and those were initially getting crowded, but the district added extra late buses, which has been good, because before we were facing like overcrowding issues on the buses, but now from what I've been seeing and from what I've been hearing, the additional routes have been really helpful. Also, yesterday, the National Honor Society held their semi-annual blood drive, and I believe they collected about 80 pints of blood, which is amazing, and I know like each person that donates can save up to 3 lives, and I think it's just a great opportunity for students to get a chance to do that just at the high school, and then they're also going to be holding one in the spring. And then the drama club had Macbeth, and I know it was amazing. I went, it was amazing. And then also in the spring, they already started preparing for their Mean Girls musical. So I know so many students are looking forward to that. They already had auditions or are having them right now. And then club photos are going on today and tomorrow because we have so many clubs, literally from 7 a.m. to 1:45. They have clubs lined up from today and tomorrow just getting pictures in for the yearbook. This month and next month, we have the New Jersey Seal of Biliteracy testing happening at the high school. And so the most popular language is obviously Spanish, but they offer it for any language, even languages that they don't teach. So for example, like if someone knows Urdu by themselves, they can get that tested at the high school. And then the World Language Department can facilitate that. And then New Jersey provides a seal of biliteracy based on you passing that, which is a great opportunity. Also, the Safety Ambassadors Program that me and Tommy are a part of, where we go to Eisenhower and teach the little kids safety, is starting back up in February. So our first month that we're going in is February, and we have a new advisor for it. So we've just been getting that organized, and we just had a meeting today, and then we're gonna have a meeting with like the Rutgers staff that runs it from Robert Wood Johnson's hospital next week for just some additional training on how to speak with kids, making sure that we're good and we can provide that message as clear as possible because it's quite important. Also, this is Convi's part, so I'm not really a STEM kid, but there's a lot of science-based activities going on at the high school. We had the Science Olympiad, interest meeting, the Chem League, the Physics League, and then as well as the Science National Honor Society and Chem Club. So there's a bunch of science-related extracurricular opportunities, and I know today or yesterday the Chem Club and Science National Honor Society held like a meeting to showcase to the entire school all the opportunities they have to get internships and anything of that nature already from get-go in high school, which was amazing. And I know with this season we have college decisions coming out, and then the school counseling department has been doing an amazing job with that. They also held instant decisions day this year for many schools where the admissions representative just comes in and they literally read your application there and tell you if you're in or not, which can sound nerve-wracking, but I know so many students got in through that for many colleges, and that's the school they're going to now, and the fact that it all happened through the high school was amazing. And then I know I speak for everyone when I say we're excited for winter break, but with that, we have so many festive activities going on at the high school. The Piscataway Gives Back Club is holding a winter movie night at the high school for volunteers next Wednesday. The class of 2026 is selling holiday candygrams. Our senior council, we had a hot chocolate sale for the past few weeks, and then we also started a thrift store. So in the school store with the help of Mr. Catelli. So we just had students donate any extra clothes they had, and now we're selling them as it's like a little nice mini thrift store at the school, because I know that's a big thing amongst high schoolers. And then also the Spanish Club is holding their holiday food drive to donate to local charities, so there's a lot of charitable stuff going on at the high school as well with this season. And then the student government is hosting its Winter Spirit Week next week just to end off the year strong, with a good way to get school spirit. And yeah, overall it's been amazing. Thank you and happy holidays.
Thank you so
too.
much. As we usually tell you, you're more than welcome to stay. However, if you decide you must go, we understand. Have a happy holiday season, doing things as you do. Continue to be the positive spirit that you are, and looking forward to 2024 with you.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Next will be my president's report. I was pleased to be able to attend the recent What's Next career fair at Piscataway High School, where 118 juniors and seniors got the opportunity to explore a range of options to pursue after graduation for those who do not wish to go to a four-year college. 30 presenters were on hand to meet and to talk to students about areas such as construction trades, the military, law enforcement, firefighting, community college or trade school, real estate, diesel mechanics, fashion, cosmetology, auto sales, and more. This event is a key part of the district's ongoing mission to expand opportunities for non-college bound learners. Thank you to the Piscataway High high school's Department of College and Career Counseling and the district's Department of Diversity, Equity, and Inclusion for doing a wonderful job in organizing this important event. We are in the heart of the holiday season, and I want to thank everyone who came out to support our students during the district's holiday concert series. Student singers and musicians from the high school and middle schools did a wonderful job creating a festive mood with their musical talents. If you did not get a chance to get to a concert yet, you still have a chance as the district concert series concludes next Wednesday with the high school instrumental music concert. Also, our PHS Honors Choir was featured on News 12, Sounds of the Season, singing Silent Night. It has aired throughout the month and is available to watch anytime on News 12 website. On behalf of the Board of Education, happy holidays to all. Being able to go to the non-college bound career event was enlightening, refreshing, and also just showing we're trying to meet the needs of all students, not just some students. Students were able to gain, listen, hear, and get a new path that they will be able to follow that they had not even thought of. To watch the engagement of the students with the presenters who were there, asking the questions that they were asking, and walking away with informative information was so refreshing, but yet at the same time, looking at the administration saying, you listened and we're getting it done. I'm looking forward to what the future holds and watching that program expand even more, because I know there are still more fields out there that we can tap into and have them present to the students in areas that they have not thought of and may not ever have been presented to them, but may actually peg their interest to say, okay, I can do this. To see the entrepreneurs who were there who were Piscataway alumni, incredible. It was able to show them that you too can do this. I came through this same school system that you did, and I was able to achieve this. I'm here if you need support. You can ask me any questions, and I can mentor you, I can talk to you, but most importantly, I can encourage you. So for that, like I say, I thank the administration and all the work that was put into it, because it's no easy task when you constantly ask to do more, do more, do more, but they listen, and they do more, and they do more, and they do more. So again, thank you, Dr. Vanelli and the whole team,
Great team.
for doing so, listening, and actually saying, okay, we are reaching more students and giving them more opportunities than ever before. And that concludes my report for my written report. But next, we have two board members. This is their last meeting with us. It's a bittersweet moment because with it comes change, but with every day that you're here on earth, there's going to be a change. So at this point in time, I'm going to go to the podium. Now, we know that's against my religious beliefs, but I'm going to do it anyway. So on the first one, I'm going to recognize Ms. Lane. In recognition of your service and personal dedication to the children of Piscataway Township Schools, through compassion, commitment, and exceptional leadership, your contributions built character and enriched education for all of Piscataway students. That's what's written on the plaque. Speaking to you, Chantel Cherry, to Kim Lane, I want to thank you on behalf of the Board of Education for all of your relentless hours you put in, not only in town, but also at the state level, for all the involvement and initiatives that you put into place with the NJBS. They can't thank you enough, and I can't thank you enough. But most importantly, what you brought to the table, the ideas you presented, but most importantly, your passion about the kids getting to see L'Oreal behind the scenes, what it has to offer. Because usually if you hear warehouse, people are like, oh, my child ain't working at no warehouse. But you were able to show them there's behind the scene jobs that are not physically working on the line. They actually create engineering and the rest of the development that comes with it. So on behalf of the school board in Piscataway Township, I want to present you with this plaque. Thank you. And I am saying this, and I'm more than certain it's going to be true. I know you will be back. There's no doubt in my mind. So I'm going to put it on record. I expect to see your name on the ballot in November and continue to do what you do. I know you're going to be still working on things, trying to get kids involved and making sure the district hears you. And I know you'll reach out with no hesitation if you see something or find out about something that will benefit the students of Piscataway. So for that, we thank you.
I did prepare something.
Okay, I'm going to move to the side.
Can I say something first?
Thank you so much.
Can I say something first before you say something, Kimberly? I wanted to personally thank you for your 4 years of service to our school children at the local, county, and state level. At the local level, here in Piscataway, thank you so much for, your contributions to the fiscal plannings and operations committee. At the county level, thank you for your stepping up and getting elected on the Middlesex County as an alternate delegate to the New Jersey School Board Association Board of Directors. But at the state level, speaking as a state executive officer of the New Jersey School Boards Association, thank you for coming up with the idea to have an unsung superhero session at the annual New Jersey School Boards workshop in Atlantic City. Your idea to honor and recognize school district staff members such as custodians, nurses, crossing guards, librarians, aides, bus drivers, cafeteria workers, SROs, to name a few, who do not always get the credit they deserve, was a resounding success, and thank you for that. So Kimberly, all the best in the future.
Thank you so much, Tom. And thank you, everyone. Thank you, Chantel. Thank you, everyone. Well, I'll start it out. I speak with my heart through my writing. So in the company that I work for anyone who leaves the organization, I write them a poem. Tonight I didn't write a poem. I wrote a speech. And it's the way that I honor and respect and speak my heart and the way that I feel. And I just wanted to take a few moments to share that with you all this evening. Inspired. At every visit, at every event, with every interaction, I was inspired by and so extremely proud of our dynamic district. I am and remain so thankful for the opportunity to serve on the Piscataway Township Board of Education. And what an opportunity it was. Having served 4 years on the board, I was part of a team that helped govern the district through a pandemic. I attended every graduation ceremony, including 2 different and innovative ones, drive-through and football field, to celebrate our seniors. And I continually witnessed the care and stellar work of our district's administration, faculty, and staff that ensured for our students' safety and their successes. The latest surveys confirmed it, but it was always evident to me, and I'm sure to all of you, we have an engaged and passionate team of professionals, and we see a direct reflection of their hard work in our students' smiles, their artwork, their innovations. We hear it in the music that they play, their poise and delivery in their presentations. I noticed a theme: care. They care about each other, and they care about the environment too. For example, the 2 students from Arbor School who talked about ways to protect our waterways, fish, and marine life, they delivered and developed a solid, well-structured, and compelling case that evening, and I'll never forget it. And of course, who could forget about our high school students who developed the innovative way to curb lantern flies, right? I think your son was part of that. There was a NASA invention developed to see the effects of atmospheric change on agriculture. And I will always remember the Lego animation project, the Thanksgiving Day robot parade, amongst all the other plays, concerts, performances, and athletic competitions I attended and will continue to attend to support our students. I remain wowed and impressed. And let's talk about the engagement of our families and citizens. Amazing. We need and greatly appreciate their involvement, their feedback, volunteerism, and participation. It is vital and it is valued. So thank you. Some of you may know this, and for those who don't, I'll tell you a little bit about the 2 people who watch over. My dad was a factory worker here in town, and my mom was a lunch aide, an unsung hero in my neighboring home district. We didn't have a lot, but my parents always instilled in me the importance of giving back. I'm an active participant and serve in many capacities here in town, but I must say helping our students and our community in this role has been more than an enriching and rewarding experience. Many people ask, what is it like to be on the Board of Ed, be a BOE member? And I always answer the same. It takes dedication, commitment, situational awareness, sacrifice, the heart and the passion to help students and their families. At my first opportunity after taking my oaths of office, I began taking classes and attending as many NJSBA webinars and seminars as I could. I never missed a regular business meeting and was proud to obtain my certified board membership in 3 years, serving as the board's vice president, the delegate, and the alternate delegate to the NJSBA Assembly, and was nominated by my contemporaries on the boards to serve as the Middlesex County School Board Board of Directors. I am deeply committed to remaining an active volunteer, serving as a member of the public on 2 committees on which I currently sit as a board member. And in my opinion, after saying all of that, it's not our titles, the letters after our name or before it, even the car we drive that defines our successes. It's our empathy, our willingness to give, to be present, to put in the work and be accountable. That speaks volumes about one's character and how successful we really are. Success to me is not what you have, but what you have to give. For students who are wondering, what am I going to be when I grow up? My advice is that of the quote that says, in a world where you could be anything, be kind. Please be kind. As the board's liaison to Quibbletown Middle School, stay gold, Golden Knights. To all the students, faculty, staff, and administration, and community at large, go Chiefs. It was truly an honor and a pleasure to serve. I wish the board and the district continued successes, the happiest of holidays, and a healthy and prosperous 2024. Thank you all so much. Down in the belly. Thank you so much. Thank you. You're welcome. Appreciate it.
This next one. Girl. Girl. This next one is personal, because when she decided to run for school board with me on my team 3 years ago, I thought the courage of such a young person to throw their hat in the arena and say, okay, I want my voice to be heard. I know she's going to cry because she was about crying walking in the building. But it's okay. That's tears of joy. From the little butterfly who came in, who did not know she had a voice, who did not know she had a say, who did not know she had power within her name. That's my Zoe. That's my board daughter. She's been under my wing. She will continue to be under my wing. When she walks the stage in December from Rutgers, I'll be sitting in the audience cheering her on. Nancy and I'll be there, loud and proud.
That's next year.
I know. But the most important thing I want you to know, you are somebody, you proved you are somebody, and there's still so much more for you to go. You have shown the world, you have shown young people that they too can be just like you. They can run for any elected position they want to in the state of New Jersey. All they have to do is be a registered voter, put their name on a petition, get their 10 signatures, and the sky's the limit. You came into this not knowing what you were getting into, but you stayed the course. Even when it got rough, you stuck it out. We wrote notes to each other. You would tell me to smile if I looked like I was checked out, and I would send you a note back across, are you okay? We did that the whole time on the high school stage, never violating any ethics, but just importantly, encouraging and keeping each other going. I'm going to miss you, but most importantly, I'm happy to see the unicorn go out the door, flap her wings, and say, okay, what's next for me? So Zoe, on behalf of this Piscataway School Board, in recognition of your service and personal dedication to the children of Piscataway Township Schools, through the compassion, commitment, and exceptional leadership, your contributions built character and enriched students for all Piscataway students. What you most importantly did was show young people, use your voice, use your vote. It matters. It makes all the difference in the world. Because what you brought to the table was what you had just lived. All of us have been out of school for a long time, so we don't have a clue what it takes to go through schools nowadays, what's involved in the school district, what's going on in the buildings, but most importantly, when you can get someone who's lived it, who's actually a part of it, who still has friends in it, they can give you inside information that no one else can. I'm able to bring some of my information because I still have the 3 kids in district, but without them, I wouldn't know half the stuff that I know. So for this, I thank you for putting in the hours, for sticking it out, but most importantly, getting to the finish line. You didn't crack.
It was an honor.
It's my honor.
I didn't really prepare anything.
No need to, we got
But I
this.
do want to thank everyone because I started. My parents are here, and that means a lot to me because they were here when I graduated high school. They were here when I started Randolphville, which
Yeah.
it's so funny that this night started with Randolphville, and my
It
whole
did.
journey started with Randolphville and ends with Randolphville. And I graduated high school, and then I decided to run for the board, and I was so scared, and I just saw myself grow up
You did.
and like believe in myself, and that's like probably the most important thing that I've learned is like
The growth has been incredible.
I've really grown into like a woman that I'm really proud to be, and
You found who you are.
yeah, and
You found
everyone
your
here
voice and you
was
found who Zoe.
part of that, and
Yep.
believed in me, and even people who didn't believe in me like believed in me in some way because they were thinking about me. But it was really an honor, and I feel so proud of myself and just proud to have even been considered to be on the board, and people believed in me, and I'm also really proud of you. Like really, I hope you keep doing what you're doing because every meeting you speak, I'm like, oh, this is exactly why I ran, and yeah, I just love you guys. Anyway, that's it.
Okay. We gotta take a picture. It's okay. No one knows you're lying, but you should. You got it.
Oh, yes.
Of course you are.
Oh, you want to take it? You want to leave it? Okay.
You always have to take 3. Yeah, 3 is the rule. Because you never know.
Be careful, the whole roll might go.
3, that's right.
This is a phone like that in a long time.
It's fantastic.
Yeah.
I love it.
It's raining out.
Kids take 30.
So fast.
Thank you. Thank you.
And that concludes my president report and presentation for this evening. Now we'll have the superintendent's report. Oh, the auditor's going to come up next. Wow, you got called to the podium a lot quicker than you thought.
You're making it difficult tonight to follow all these presentations.
Come on, Dave, what do you got?
Yeah.
I'm not going to try to top them because it would be impossible. Good evening, everybody.
Good
Uh,
evening.
One piece of excitement is you're getting 2 audit presentations within 12 months. I know Tom's very excited about that. This is the first time in 5 years that the state was able to provide information on a timely basis, so that we could actually meet the statutory deadline December 5th. It was kind of a surprise they were providing information. No one really knew about it until it popped up. So, not all schools were able to meet the deadline because of all the backups for 5 years. And truth be told, the district's only one of 27% of schools in the state that were able to issue their audit on time. And really a big reason for that is the cooperation of all the district personnel and employees. So that's always very much appreciated here. Our audit lasts 4 weeks in time, where we request a lot of information. So the district employees, in addition to their regular duties, have to, sit and help us and respond to our requests. They always do so very professionally and very timely, so we always appreciate that. We are issuing an unmodified opinion. We did issue an unmodified opinion on the financials of the district. That means that the district complies with and follows all the required accounting principles and practices that the GASB requires, as well as the Department of Education from New Jersey. The district again received a Certificate of Excellence in Financial Reporting, so congratulations to the district for that. 6th straight year that has occurred. The district continues to be in sound financial position. The general fund balance was $61 million at the end of this year, an increase of $7.6 million. Of that, only $3.5 million is what's called unrestricted. All the other amounts are restricted for other purposes. $28.2 million is restricted for capital purposes. $6.5 million is restricted for maintenance purposes. You have a $1 million emergency reserve. $9.6 million is what was utilized within the 23-24 budget as a funding source. $7.7 million is considered what we call excess surplus, over and above the 2% and all the different restrictions. That amount has to be designated for the 24-25 budget. And $1.8 million was restricted for unemployment trust. Food service net position was $1.6 million, which is higher than most years. A lot of that's because of the high reimbursement rates, as well as the free lunches that were provided during COVID. So all school districts in the state have higher balances now. That is a particular concern of the New Jersey Department of Agriculture. There's a formula that they do that they look at where they consider certain amounts too high. So the district, is in that position, or was at June 30th by $237,000. District business office has already taken that into account. They ordered a significant amount of equipment to upgrade facilities within the food service areas of the schools. The adult school and child care program net position was $2.6 million, a slight increase of $200,000. One of the things that's kind of remarkable for the district is that there's no bonded debt of the school. That's pretty unusual and rare. To give you an idea, you're allowed to have $424 million of outstanding debt, and you have zero. So that's pretty impressive. You do have an ESIP lease that's $14.8 million at the end of the year, but that's not considered bonded debt. One of the other responsibilities that we have is performing a single audit over the federal and state grant programs. So we pick major programs, we test their controls and compliance over those programs. We've issued an unmodified opinion on compliance with those programs, so no findings as it relates to compliance. And we also issue a small report, auditor's manager report, in that we did not note any items that require corrective action by the district. If there's any questions that anyone has, I'd be more than happy to answer them.
No, I wanted to thank you for being here, David, and also thank the business administrator for, doing a remarkable job year on year. I mean, 6 consecutive years to get that, the annual comprehensive financial report, the certificate of excellence is remarkable. And I'm speaking both as the chairman of the Fiscal Plannings and Operations Committee and also, as VP Finance from New Jersey School Boards. And one thing about our board is that, we take our finances seriously, and Kim knows, she's been on the committee, and we really pay attention to the details and everything that goes into it. So my only thing that I want to say to all the school board, my fellow school board members, and any new board members that may be listening or whatever, is that the one place that you can find out all about Piscataway and its school system, of where we've been, where we're going, is in this annual comprehensive financial report in the introduction, and please read those pages. There's so much information in here that links to why we are in this good position. And it talks about the school system itself. It talks about our enrollment. It gives a history of the enrollment. It talks about our ratables in town and how they've been changing. And as people know, that my thing has always been state funding, and we can trace it right back here to that pie chart about the ratables in town, of why we are in a particular situation with state aid as well as the decrease in enrollment. And it's just a great spot to read about if you're going to be on the board, and I recommend it to everyone. And I think, and again, and thank you to the administration for supporting it, but we have a very good school system, and it's recognized around the state, and thank you.
Thank you, Dave.
Thanks, Dave.
Happy holidays.
Happy holidays.
Holidays to you as well. Now on to the superintendent's report.
All right, before I get into my report, I want to, from the administration, thank Ms. Lane and Ms. Gatto for their service. It's well documented, this is a volunteer job. I know the amount of hours that you put in, and for the right reasons, is incredible, and we appreciate your service, and we know we'll be seeing you around, so we thank you for your time, and again, from all of us, the administration, the central office, supporting the teachers, supporting our building administrators, being around, being there, means a lot, so we appreciate that.
Thank you.
As always, check out our superintendent's report. It is on our website under the Superintendent's Corner. This month's highlights includes PHS Honors and Events, our Staff Professional Development Day. We have 3 of those throughout the year, and also various curricular projects. Also this time there are a couple of inserts highlighting some holiday celebrations over the past couple of months, which is really nice. So when you get a chance, please go online and check those out. Another story in the Superintendent's Report was about our kids from MLK, our art students from MLK, actually making coffee sleeves for Starbucks. So our art teacher, Irina Nidakovich, goes to Starbucks, I'm guessing, every morning, and she had an idea for this, she saw the red cups for the holidays, and it was a plain sort of cup sleeve. The cup sleeves keep your hands a little away from the cup. And she had an idea of having her art students just create some really kind, happy, joyful cup sleeves. And Starbucks was like, that's fantastic. We really love that idea. It could really have an impact on our community just to spread kindness. Anyway, not only is it in our superintendent's report, but not everybody gets a paper anymore like this. But anyway, it is on the front page of the Home News Tribune today. We want to thank Gary Miller for documenting it, but Irene, yep, Gary Miller is great. And Irina Nidakovich and the kids at King, Mr. Kehoe, the whole 9 yards. So it's just another way we can connect in with our community. So when you get a chance, you could get this online as well. Just give it a read. So really appreciate that. So before I get to our semi-annual reports from Mr. Rubin and Dr. Lotman, I want to wish everybody a wonderful winter break. Happy holidays, whatever you celebrate. Hopefully you get to spend some time with your families and resting during winter break. So we really take everything here seriously about education and kids and mental health and wellness, and this is a big part of that, getting the rest when you can get the rest. So on that, I will turn it over to Mr. Rubin first to do our semi-annual HIV report.
Thank you, Dr. Rinelli, and good evening, board members. As you know, twice a year under the Anti-Bullying Bill of Rights Act, I, as the district anti-bullying coordinator on behalf of the superintendent, come before you to share some information and some data about our anti-bullying campaign here. Tonight's report, which has been circulated to all of you, covers the 6-month period from January 1st to June 30th. During that period, we had a total of 43 reports of HIV, which were fully investigated. Of those, 10 incidents were found to be substantiated, and of those that were substantiated, you see summaries toward the back of how each of them were dealt with. One of the things that I look at as the district anti-bullying specialist are whether there are any patterns. This is a very data-driven process that we have under the Anti-Bullying Bill of Rights Act, where within a very short time, we get to see what's going on in the schools, things that may have taken in the old days months to filter back to central administration, and no way to kind of triangulate different bits of data to find out where a problem really is. This is very information rich in the sense that within a very short time we can find out, for example, is there a problem on bus number whatever, because we've gotten a certain number of reports from kids from different schools who travel on that bus, and to be able to target resources to solving problems rather than just indiscriminately throwing money at issues. And I think that the way we handled each of these reflects both support for both the victims of HIV and also, as necessary, support for the offending students who may, for whatever reason, be motivated to do whatever they do. So the report summarizes where we are. I see no patterns here. One thing I look for, are there any patterns of misconduct that require it? The good news is I don't see any. We track this very closely. Each one of these incidents appear to be one-off incidents, not to be trivialized or minimized and dealt with, but we don't see any emerging patterns that require some sort of cultural change in the district. So with that, prepared to answer any questions? If not, yes.
So I know that the governor just did an anti-bullying task force. When are those results going to filter down to the local schools?
Has a report been issued yet?
Hasn't been already, yeah.
Pardon me?
Yeah, that's the question.
I'm unaware of the report being issued yet. My understanding is that last I checked, the task force is still looking at any improvements or changes. One of the good things about the law is it's not etched in concrete. It has built into it certain benchmarks of time where we press the pause button and take a look at how we're doing, and so the governor's appointed the task force to do that. We expect to see some recommendations based on the experience we've had since the last time they looked at it in 2018, so we're anxiously awaiting that report. With that, I yield the floor to my colleague, Dr. Rotman, for his part of this presentation. I'm the only person tonight who's gotten no applause. I just want to know
Because it was the top of the bulletin,
That's funny.
right? HIV
That's
is not
funny.
happening.
That's funny.
Now we gotta keep it up.
David, go up,
We
I'll
gotta
take a
keep it
picture.
up. People starting to, we gotta be equitable.
There you go, there you go.
Picture, there is no picture, it didn't happen.
There you go. You only get one now, only one. I'm not taking
funny.
three.
That's funny.
No picture didn't happen.
Right, exactly.
All right, good evening, Dr. Rinelli, Board President, Ms. Cherry, Board Vice President, Dr. Connors, and the rest of our esteemed members of our Board of Education. Tonight, I'd like to present our district semi-annual SSDS report. It's just like Mr. Rubin said, it's covering the time frame of January 1st, 2023 to June 2023. The report that was just handed out to you also has the numbers of SSDS incidents for the year before, same time frame, January 1st, 2022 to June 2022. Eliminating the 10 HIV cases that, again, Mr. Rubin so eloquently presented, our district reports 67 occurrences during the time frame I just said, 9 infractions of vandalism, 7 weapons violations, 14 occurrences of violence, and 33 substance abuse accounts. It'd be really easy to just give you this report and sit down, but I really wanted to take some time to drill in on each category, just to give you a little more information. Starting off with violence, of our 14 incidents, which we're proud to report is down almost 40% compared to the year before. There was 5 fights, 8 threats, and 1 other event that I had to classify as other. Something was thrown across the room, so it wasn't a fight or a threat, so just made that other. And of the 14 incidents, 57% of these incidents involve students who are already receiving additional assistance from our district, and will continue to receive that additional assistance to hopefully correct these behaviors. The next category, vandalism, is it's a different category in that there's a robust amount of incidents that could fall under this umbrella. For instance, with the 9 incidents, 1, in my opinion of what vandalism's definition really is, fits that definition of damage to a bathroom. The other 8 incidents include 6 incidents of theft greater than $10. 5 of them happened in our school's cafeterias. We had 1 issue of trespassing. A student was where they weren't supposed to be, and 1 report of an inappropriate post on social media. So all those fall under vandalism. For weapons, we had 7 incidents. We confiscated 4 pocket knives during this time frame, 1 little can of pepper spray, and 2 water guns. You might ask, why would water guns fit in a description of weapons? In both instances, they didn't look like toys, so we wanted to send a message like something like that, even though it is a toy, it is a water gun, could be a point of chaos and should not be, outside of the house. So we wanted to make sure that message was loud and clear. Of those 7 incidents, 6 were solely possession. Thankfully, the 1 incident that it was a possession did involve 1 of the toys, so I was happy to report that. Last category was substance abuse. We had 37 occurrences, 21 or 57% of those occurrences were possession. The 21 possession were 9 items of paraphernalia, 6 marijuana, 4 nicotine, and 2 alcohol. And the 16 use was 14 marijuana and 2 nicotine. Looking at these numbers, our biggest increase in respect to the total numbers did definitely happen in substance abuse, which, if you look at it at a certain light, and I look at it this way, I believe that is a positive. Now, some might look at me crazy and say, how could that be positive? The reason I say that is after disciplinary consequences are obviously doled to the students involved in these 37 cases, those students meet with their guidance counselors, student assistant counselor, and anything else that's needed to assist the students in, getting back on the right path and staying on there. So again, 37, is our highest number, but those 37, the people involved in those 37 incidents are definitely getting assistance. To wrap this up, I want to go over 2 key points, very similar to the 2 key points that I covered back in June. The first one is to, most of you know me by now, I'm big with numbers, I love math. With the 67 incidents, to put it in perspective of how big our district is, I looked at the total enrollment on June 30th, 2023. We had, from kindergarten to senior year, not including our pre-K, we had 7,440 students enrolled. Then from January 1 to June 30th, again, 2023, we had a total of 109 school days. So if you multiply the total enrollment by our school days, we have total school days of 810,960. So if you compare that to the 67 incidents, you calculate that on 0.00826% of our school days, that required an SSDS report. So to put that in perspective a little better, to get to 1%, which obviously is very, very low, we'd have to multiply those incidents by over 120. So that's something our district should be very proud of. The district's working very hard to make sure everyone is safe, students and staff, parents, and everything. Second key point I'd like to make, and again, very similar to what I made in June with one important tweak. We increased, if you look at the 3 categories of vandalism, which as I stated was mostly theft, weapons, which again were all but 1 possession, and substance abuse, which was 57% possession, those 3 categories, compared to last year, we had an increase in 12 total incidents. And I remember, like I said, the only way, as a former high school principal, I know in those types of occurrences, the only way you catch that before it happens is by intel from students, parents, and things like that. In June, when I was only on the job for about a month and a half, I said that I think the exact terminology I used was it could be argued that the rise in those occurrences has a direct correlation with the positive relationship our staff has developed with our students. I'm not going to use that terminology anymore because now that it's December, I've been here 8 months, I could sit here in front of you and confidently say, I am sure that the positive relationship our staff members formed with our kids is the reason why we're able to catch more of these incidences, because our kids want to help us make our schools safe. They want to help us make our schools the best. They have school pride, and that's another great thing that I think our district should be very proud of. That being said, I know the goal is to get these numbers reduced, eventually to get to 0. That's the main goal. So I just want to talk about some of the many programs our schools participate in to assist us in that goal. We continue to do the Week of Respect, School Violence Awareness Week. We have Safety and Climate Committee meetings, HIB trainings, DEI monthly celebrations, character education programs, several assemblies on mental health awareness, social emotional learning, and violence prevention. And new this year, we've been in constant contact with our community outreach team, which is formerly our municipal alliance, and we're able to set up anti-drug and anti-vaping presentations that will be coming to our schools in very early of 2024. We continue to do whatever we can to assist and help our students and staff and parents in any way we can. Thank you so much for your time. I'm happy to answer any questions. Yes, sir.
Dr. Lawton, thank you for the detailed report. And I know that you need to have these semi-annual public hearings. My question is that in terms of individual types of incidences, in terms of percentages, and you talked about Piscataway's district, do you have any idea of how we compare to districts of similar size, like say in Middlesex County? Are we very similar to other districts.
As far as our population is, it's hard to get that information from others, but, I do have, some background in other places, and I assure you that our district is better than a lot of other schools. So, our district times, 10 buildings, again, not including our pre-K buildings, we're doing very, very well. Yes, ma'am?
Okay, so my question is, these are all things that have been like, reported and caught,
Right.
right? So
Right.
this is basically what's been disciplined and what we caught. So when I look at the vandalism going up, like as a teacher, I know a big thing we faced this year was the TikTok challenge where kids were
Yes.
destroying bathrooms. So it was a huge problem where kids were coming in a little bit at a time. They'd bring, like tools in. Someone would loosen a little bit more. Someone else would come in, loosen a little bit more until a sink came off or something else. So I didn't know if we had an issue with something like that, and if this was just, does it represent? I guess my question is, this is representative of what has been disciplined and caught,
Correct.
not always maybe reflective of other things that are going on. So I have the same question too with the, not with the substance abuse, because we have 37, and I know as a parent, I get some feedback about the bathrooms.
Yeah.
And the amount of
Activity going on
Being
over there?
alert.
To answer your question, there's
Substances, yes.
absolutely some of that.
Okay.
Absolutely,
No question about
yes.
so that's
it. No question about it. Things that we might not be able to discipline or catch, we know happens. And what Dr. Lotman, the point he made about the categories going up, so we're finding out more. Our teachers are more vigilant.
Yeah,
Right,
that's
it's
a good thing.
Things are happening, unfortunately. Teachers are more vigilant, they're paying attention, kids are more vigilant, they hate vaping in the bathroom.
Right.
Can't stand it.
I know we talked about last year a little bit, if I remember correctly, like maybe different initiatives to detect like vaping in schools, right? If I remember correctly, right? Is this?
We have
Glenn
a
has some experience with that.
we have
Okay.
a presentation coming in.
Great.
Back in my old stop, we purchased actually some contraption that was supposed to detect.
And it did it
It
not?
didn't
So
do
it wasn't
anything, so-
effective, yeah.
So-
Okay. So, well, that's good, we're not wasting money.
Right,
either.
yes,
So we'll be
yeah.
happy that we're not
Yeah,
spending
we-
money that's not effective.
Yeah.
We look into those things and we're.
We need to ask the students to
Yes.
get
yeah.
us the technology
Yeah, right.
to
Yeah.
get, to detect it. Then we'll get something that works.
Yeah, and as Dr. Anelli said for that answer, it's perfect, where, we know we're catching
This is
what
what
we can.
what's documented.
Yeah, so we want, I don't say we want, but we do expect these numbers to go up.
Yeah, I don't think it's a
And-
bad thing when some of these numbers go up.
I agree.
I think it's a little
Yeah,
bit
it
more
was 100%.
reflective of what's
Yes.
happening, and that it's being reported, and that, we're being vigilant to make sure that our schools are safe.
And we can get more kids help.
100%.
We're definitely not keeping our head in the
Get
sand, we know
services.
what's going on, and we're trying our best to
what they need.
rectify.
Yeah, I know it's not an easy fix,
Yeah.
but, just that it is something that we need to continue to work on, for our students in our schools.
Thank you.
Thank you, Doctor.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Happy holidays, everyone.
Holidays.
Yay! Let's laugh now.
That concludes my report.
Oh, yay!
Yeah, thank you.
Thank you.
We need a picture with
I
him.
need a picture, yeah.
We're just clapping. We're going clap crazy today.
Personnel and Labor Relations, Nancy Salgado Cohen.
Be it resolved that the following motions identified as A through E be approved as presented.
Motion.
Second?
Mr. Secretary, can you please take the roll call?
Mrs. Cordino?
Yes.
Mr. King? Mrs. Lane?
Yes.
Mrs. Salgado Cowan?
Yay.
Ms. Scotto?
Yes.
Ms. Smith? Dr. Connors?
Yes.
Ms. Cherry?
Yes.
Motion's carried.
Public comments from the floor. The Board of Education recognizes the value of public comments on educational issues and school matters of the community interest. In support of this position, the law establishes a period of public comment at every board meeting. Individuals wishing to speak must state their name and address. Comments are limited to 3 minutes duration, but an individual may speak a second time after all others who wish to speak on the topic have been heard. The board may require that individuals register to speak prior to the beginning of the meeting. Participants may submit written material in support of their position. All statements and or questions shall be directed to the presiding officer, and no participant may address or question board members individually. All speakers are requested to express themselves in a civil manner with due respect for the dignity and privacy rights of others whose legal rights may be affected. Please note, while this is not the board's intention to stifle comment on matters of legitimate concern to the school community, the public should have awareness that if their statements violate the rights of others under the law governing the defamation of invasion of privacy, they may face personal liability to the injured party. If speakers are uncertain of their legal ramifications of their comments, the board urges them to seek guidance beforehand from their own legal advisor. Are there any public comments coming from the floor this evening? Being I see none, can I have a motion to close public comments?
Motion.
Can I have a second? All in favor?
Aye.
Okay, on to the committee reports. There's a couple committee reports that have to be read this evening. I'll start it off with curriculum. The curriculum meeting met on December the 4th, 2023 to discuss the dance and theater curriculum, updates in math, vocabulary, radio broadcasting, and more. Dance and theater K-8 criteria, Rebecca Stalaki. The dance and theater curriculum have been put together by grade band K-2, 3 to 5, and 6 to 8 to meet standards. There are dance and theater opportunities aligned with existing PHS dance and PHS middle and school drama programs. These have been occurring but are now clearly documented. Course modifications by Chris Arivando. Radio broadcasting is moving to a semester course from a full-year course to allow more students to fit it into their schedules. The pacing guide is being modified so the course covers the same topics. The aim is to allow more students to take additional classes in this elective. Math updates K-5 by Rebecca Dayton. Rebecca Dayton shared that the core and supplement resources available for the use in elementary math. This included logging into the new Go Math platform called ED. While in ED, Ms. Dayton showed how to access various materials to support students and families at home. Domain-specific vocabulary, Janine Albanese. The Sattler vocabulary program has been rolling out in grades 4 through 8. The vocabulary units are being taught and students have workbooks. Teachers have gotten positive feedbacks and vocabulary is being used in student writings. Domain-specific vocabulary consists of words listed based what is being taught. The aim is to standardize these lists. Student success and retention, Brad Butler. Brad Butler, an educational consultant and author who has spoken around the country, would like to do keynote presentations for students and or do professional developments for teachers. The HOPE program curriculum is a character development program to help foster students into pure leaders. Artificial intelligence, Nelix Keeley. Nelix Keeley, a practicing computer science engineer, discussed the uses and impacts of artificial intelligence for all students and teachers and why it needs to be a part of the educational discourse. Dr. Baskerville requested that further questions be deferred until our February 5th meeting when John Bartroff, District Manager of Information Systems, will be in attendance. And that concluded the report for curriculum. I have to tell you, the engagement in that meeting Monday night was incredible, especially with the artificial intelligence. To watch the new math assistants that we're now using with Go Math, to see it online, to see it available in different languages, to see the assistance that they offer, the additional questions that the students are able to go in and practice so that they can master the skill that they're working on. It's definitely going to make a difference in the gradings and the rate of state passing testing that we have with students' growth in math. Looking forward to seeing what the rest of it brings out and see where the data shows us in a year from now, what the difference it made or did not make, and was it actually worth the move, and seeing the growth within the students. And that concludes my report for curriculum. Cultural Climate and Community Relations, Ms. Salgado Cohen.
Thank you, Madam President. The Culture, Climate, and Community Relations Committee met on November the 21st, 2023 to discuss positive messaging, community partnerships, and wellness services. Positive messaging, monthly themes, quotes, and marquee images for the ending in the months of October and November were shared and discussed. November themes was gratitude and thanks. Marquee images included Veterans Day and Diwali. The committee discussed possibility of sending out a positive voice message to all families with words of encouragement or posting positive messaging, thanking parents and or guardians during the holiday winter seasons. Community partnerships. Planning is underway for the PHS Business Academy students to be mentored by the Rutgers Business School students. Regular meetings have been taking place with the Nesby Junior Meet Club under the guidance of the supervision of Mr. Hammerine. The district will explore ways to continue to make families aware of these opportunities. The district formed a partnership with Junior Achievement of New Jersey. That's a new partnership we have. And programs will take place across the district throughout this school year. Junior Achievement's purpose is to inspire and prepare young people to succeed in a global economy. On October the 25th, Jersey Cares engaged in a full day of service at Martin Luther King Intermediate School. They beautified the teachers' faculty room with furniture, an inspirational quote on the wall. They also created an outdoor classroom and constructed 2 outdoor library stands and furnished them with books. They also made class presentations to the 5th grade students on topics of principles of flight, keys of recycling, and 3D printing. Wellness services. Information was shared about the Haven Family Nights being held on November the 30th at 6 p.m. Family Night flyers was to include more details like the schedule of events for the evenings as well as the end time. New business. Information was discussed about Dr. Lindsay Stevenson, the lead researcher of our district's equity audit. She recently was at the district to visit the PHS and middle schools, and at November, the 2nd board meeting, she shared the details and the results of her equity audit work to date. Okay, on just a little personal note on the Culture and Climate Committee, we, as a committee, were really, really excited about the new partnership that we're having with this Junior Achievement. And it looks like it's going to really bring about a lot of positive change to the district. It's at no cost at all to our district, which is always key. And it's just bringing in a lot of, it's a very recognized organization, and the fact that we were able to secure that partnership is really, really good. I did have an opportunity to attend the Haven Family Night on November the 30th at 6 p.m. It was well attended. Families came. I think the fact that they provided such a detailed flyer of what the night's agenda would include really helped people to like sort of come in, drop in when they could throughout the night and still be able to, you know, get a good event. So that was great. They had the kids, childcare, which was key, and they also had lots of food, so that was helpful for the families since it was such an early night. They didn't have to worry about dinner. So that was a real consideration when you're having things early, that the parents can come bring their kids and they can also provide a meal. That was very, very well attended and a nice event overall. And that concludes my report.
Thank you, Ms. Delgado-Cohen. Fiscal Planning and Operations, Dr. Connors.
Yeah, the Fiscal Plans and Operations Committee met December 6, 2023 to discuss the 2022-2023 audit, the 2024-2025 budget, capital projects, and more. On the audit, you heard David Gannon speak tonight. Piscataway was one of only 27 of the school districts statewide that met the audit report filing deadline of December 5th. David Gannon reviewed a presentation summarizing the audit process, the financial performance of the district, the healthy reserve fund balance accounts, another successful year with no audit findings. Mr. Oliveira discussed the balance with the capital reserve and the use of the funds for the door, hardware project, and other capital projects. Mr. Oliveira informed the committee about our selection for the Consolidated Federal Desk Monitoring. The review will include, and I do not know what ESEA stands for, but I do know that IDEA is Individual with Disabilities Education Act, and ARP is the American Rescue Plan, and ESSER stands for Elementary and Secondary School Emergency Relief, federal
If I
funds.
get you some little
I got it, yeah.
postcards.
So I guess the bottom line is that they must have, the federal government must have drawn out of a hat, and we were lucky enough to be chosen to have this consolidated federal desk monitoring, just what you need, right, David?
ESEA, elementary and secondary.
Elementary and secondary, I had it here too.
Yeah.
Elementary and
Education Act,
secondary
yeah.
school emergency?
No,
No?
Wrong one.
Okay.
Education Act.
education.
Education Act.
It's close.
Okay. Well, on the budget, school and department budget submissions were made on December 1st. Meetings will be scheduled to review the budget submissions over the next 2 months. Salaries and benefits have been rolled over into the budget, and the financial impact is being assessed. Facility capital projects, the generator and water cooler replacement projects are complete. Approval of the final change orders will be on the December board agenda. We have water coolers now in these schools. People can go and fill up their own container on. The architect and engineers are exploring options for the replacement of the dust collection equipment in the Piscataway High School wood shop. Bid release is anticipated for January. The survey of the buildings for the door hardware upgrades will be completed this week. Finalization of the bid specification should occur this month. Remember, this is the projects that we're keeping, Safe Schools, and to do the door hardware upgrades. The Department of Education approved our application for the addition, this is big news, the Department of Education approved the application for the addition of 11 preschool classrooms to Eisenhower. Yeah. And however, the state share would be, this is like we did in the past, the state share is going to be 40%, we pay 60%. It's an estimated cost of $10,497,500 or $4,199,000. That's what the state's going to pay. The local share will be ours, which will be $6,298,500, and district administration is reviewing this feasibility of proceeding with the project. The Energy Savings Improvement Program, which we call ESIP, E-S-I-P, window blinds have been installed on the Piscataway High School windows, and transformer upgrades at the Piscataway High School were completed. The district held a meeting with Siemens to discuss the lack of progress on the project. Siemens is allocating resources from other departments to help with the project. Food service update, policy 8500, food services is being recommended for approval by the Policy and Legislative Committee to reflect updates from Strauss Esme. Policy 8500 will consolidate and replace the district's previous policies 8500, 8540, and 8550. A New Jersey School Business Legislative update. The committee, since David sits on the New Jersey School ASBO, Business
New Jersey Association of
the
School
bus-
Business Officials.
and then
There you go.
and since I sit on the New Jersey School Boards Association, we always take time to see if there's any legislation that's going to affect us, and so we report out to the committee. And the committee discussed this one called Assembly 4496 regarding the construction of school facilities, and Assembly 5687 regarding the requirement to assess cooperatives for every purchase. And Mr. Oliveira reported on the New Jersey Association of School Business Officials Legislative Committee meeting with Senator Ruiz. The New Jersey School Board Association actually, which now our board president actually is on the Legislative Committee representing District 17, is that we have a meeting this Saturday with newly re-elected Senator Ron Gopal, who chairs the Senate Education Committee. So we'll meet on Saturday and we'll get even more information about what's happening in our lame duck session right now. And that's it, my report.
I'd like to make a clarification. So if we go back to these classrooms for Eisenhower, the last sentence is pretty important. District administration is reviewing the feasibility of proceeding with this project.
Right.
So the state comes out with a lot of things that we could apply for, and in this cryptic grant that we could have applied for, we really didn't know a lot of details. David and I discussed this, decided let's just put our name in the hat, see what's going on. So we didn't even know how much money they were going to pay or we were going to pay for a project like this. So we put our name in the hat here. How many months later, David? 2, maybe? It wasn't a long turnaround, right? Yeah.
We put it in the summer.
Yeah. So maybe 3
months.
months later, they come back and they say, well, these districts have been awarded this opportunity for this grant. short turnaround, cryptic kind of grant opportunity, and we want to make sure that we have plans, again, 4 or 5 years
Sure.
from now in case we need things. So that's where we are. No solid plans, you all would know, right?
Yeah.
About any plans to add classrooms, but we're in the process of seeing if there's a need and if it's feasible. Parking over there is not great as it is, right? It would, it would just be, there's a lot of things.
That road
So I
is
just wanted to
difficult.
clarify for everybody who heard that we're not going to start construction on classrooms tomorrow.
It's funny, because my comment was gonna be, so when I was looking through this report, one of the things I highlighted
Right.
was, they give you all the schools, because I'm the liaison
Right.
for Eisenhower, is that the building is 68, and there's been no there's nothing
Right.
updated since 68,
Sure.
where a lot of other schools are old, but they've had updates
Mhm.
and,
Sure.
renovations. So Eisenhower,
So we'll take
you know,
that into consideration
so
as well
I
with
just
this.
think that,
Mhm.
yeah, we definitely want to make sure that we're servicing, especially when we looked at the data, right? And that's one of our schools that's in need of, like, we need to pull up, not that I'm all 100% test scores, but, we start at the bottom with our young kids.
Yeah, sure.
And then we build, from there. So I get the fiscal part, and I know that's a lot of money. So just, I'm advocating for Eisenhower.
Fantastic.
And I just think, that's an option maybe worth pursuing.
Sure.
Yeah,
and,
the takeaway, because what happens to Dr. Rinelli's point, and when I went over it, is often people will jump on we're going to put 11 classrooms.
a
And the
lot of
thing is
space.
that's what's happening here, is the importance about all of this from a fiscal point of view is the fact that and you heard how good things are going fiscally, is that the School Development Authority, which is money that the legislature bonds, they make that available, and what happens is that they give you this deal. They give you this deal where they'll put up 40% and then you have to put up 60%. And that's the takeaway here, is that we're exploring an opportunity for them to pay
Get some
for
free money.
something that
Yep,
we
that's it,
need.
yeah.
Get some free
And
money.
an example to your point was the last time that we put a classroom one was Grandview. Grandview, and that's why it says it over here. That's why it's important what you just said, that piece has so much information in that report. But the takeaway is just to what the superintendent says. So we don't have any plans, but we are very proactive in making sure we can secure some money if we do choose to do it.
So now I'm thinking, you talk, you're thinking out loud, that's a lot of classrooms, right? That's a
Yeah.
lot of classrooms. And I know we have other schools that we lease that has a lot of
can't tell
preschool. So I guess that could be impacting multiple things, because you don't have a need for 11
Right.
extra preschool classrooms at Eisenhower per
Correct.
se. You don't have that
There
need.
are other financial
So
factors
there's a
that go
lot of,
into
okay, so
that.
I can see it's multi-tiered. This is not a quick fix. This is nothing we're going to,
Right.
but it's.
That's why we're still analyzing, we're
Yeah.
not
Yeah,
right
so
there
that's,
yet.
yeah, the more you think about it, the more you realize how many moving pieces there are. So thanks for keeping us aware that this grant was awarded,
Mhm.
but it is not a telltale, it is not a guarantee.
That we're going to do it.
Got it,
If we
understood.
move forward, we'll get the money.
I understand.
But we have to figure out if
There's
it's
a lot
like
of
a
work, I
right move for us.
understood, okay.
We won't start digging next week.
No.
Thank you, thank you.
And I have one final comment, a brief update. When I attended one of the last New Jersey School Board's Board of Directors meetings in Trenton a few weeks ago, I did have the opportunity to ask the government affairs representative, who gave us a briefing on all the legislative and policy affairs that were going on in the lame duck session. And I did ask the question about where we stand as a state for funding for EV infrastructure, right? It's something that we can't forget about.
Mhm.
Want to keep it top of mind. It would be great to see the district move forward in initiating that. I know you've been very active in seeking the grants to get that groundwork laid, that infrastructure. And unfortunately, he said that there is some movement, but it's not as grand. I think it's kind of been backburnered, which is pretty sad. I think it's a function of, making sure that we improve our grid structure to then improve, to then lay the groundwork and the, the hardware and get that all going. But it's definitely something that I hope, it's my expressed hope that the district, I know you will, David, keep that top of mind, because it would be great to lead again, pardon my pun, I can't help it, lead the charge to have us, I know, lead the charge on getting that, put through.
It's you mentioned the grid, because I had a conversation with somebody recently. I always have these conversations to see what's out there, and this individual said to me, said there's plenty of places in New Jersey where the grid can't accommodate solar power feeding into it, which, is helpful for the charging stations. Like, it's so interconnected, and even in places where some districts want to move forward, they can't because PSE&G or JCP&L their grid is so outdated that they can't support it.
Yeah.
Once again, so many moving pieces
Yeah.
before you can, you could be on board with something, but to actually implement, there's,
It's either paperwork or the infrastructure that's going to bind you, right?
Yep.
So, well, thank you.
Next, we have policy, Ms. Smith.
The Policy and Legislative Committee met on December the 7th, 2023, to discuss various policies and regulations and pending legislation. The committee discussed and approved the following policies and regulations to be placed on the Board of Education agenda for the first reading. The list is as follows. All of these are revised regulations. Examination for cause, attendance, examination for cause, revised again, examination for cause. There's 3 different regulations there covering different items, and education of homeless children and youth, revised. The following additional policies and regulations were approved for final adoption on first reading pursuant to Board Bylaw 0131. The list is as follows. Reimbursement of federal and other grant expenditures, revised. Federal awards and funds internal controls allowability of costs, a new statute, a new regulation. Federal awards / funds internal controls mandatory disclosure, a new reg. Federal awards / funds internal controls conflict of interest, a new reg. Federal funds duplication of benefits, a new reg. Contracts for goods or services funded by federal grants, revised. And food services, revised. Citizens Advisory Committee, revised. Federal awards / funds internal controls allowability of costs. Mr. Rubin provided the committee with background information on when and how medical and psychiatric examinations for staff occur under policies 3161 and 4161, including due process for affected employees. Committee members expressed concerns about the accumulated unpaid meal charges. While the committee approved Policy 8500 as a stopgap measure, it recommended that the board establish a committee to examine the issue in more depth. The committee also approved the abolition of the following policies and regulations. Sick leave policy 3432, sick leave policy 4432, bridge year pilot program, unpaid meal charges, outstanding food service charges, and school nutrition programs. Proposed policy and regulation 5111, eligibility of resident and non-resident students, was pulled from the agenda for further review. Mr. Rubin briefed the committee on several pieces of pending legislation, including proposed amendments to the Anti-Bullying Bill of Rights Act and a bill providing for video cameras on school buses to catch drivers illegally passing them. And that concludes my report.
Thank you, Ms. Smith.
I just have a question for the for your committee, for Mr. Rubin, if anybody can answer. The abolition of these policies, is that because there are other policies now in place that sort of take their place, right? For the sick leave, the unpaid meal charges and all like that? Okay, thank you.
Yep.
That was my question.
Anyone else, any other questions? Okay, that concludes all the committee reports. Approval of minutes, Ms. Lane.
Be it resolved that the following minutes be approved as submitted. Business meeting, November 2nd, 2023. Executive session, November 2nd, 2023.
Moved.
Second?
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Be it resolved that the following minutes be approved as submitted for the special meeting that occurred on November 16th, 2023.
Yep. Motion?
Second?
All in favor?
Aye.
Fiscal plan and operations, Dr. Connors.
Be resolved, the following motions identified as items A through K be approved as presented.
Second. No, motion?
Second?
Mr. Secretary, can you please take the roll?
King?
Yes.
Mrs. Lane?
Yes.
Ms. Rashid? No, excuse me. Mrs. Salgado Cowan?
Yes for A through I, abstain from J, and yes for K.
Ms. Scotto?
Yes.
Ms. Smith?
Yes.
Mrs. Cordino?
Yes.
Dr. Connors?
Yes.
Ms. Cherry?
Yes.
Motion's carried.
Policy, Ms. Smith.
Page 8.
Be it resolved that the following motions identified as items A through C be approved as presented.
Motion.
Second?
Mr. Secretary, can you please take the roll?
Mrs. Lane?
Yes.
Mrs. Salgado Cowan?
Yes.
Ms. Scotto?
Yes.
Ms. Smith?
Yes.
Mrs. Cordino?
Yes.
Mr. King?
Yes.
Dr. Connors?
Yes.
Ms. Cherry?
Yes.
Motion's carried.
Curriculum, Mr. King.
Be it resolved that the following motions identified as items A through F be approved as presented.
Second? Or motion?
You can second it. Mr. Secretary, can you please take the roll?
Well, can I just, a matter of
Sure, go
discussion is that the C, that acceptance of the New Jersey Quality Single Accountability, I mean, that's an important one that,
CUSAC.
yeah, CUSAC.
Yeah.
And, thanks to the administration for,
Yeah, no,
Yeah.
you're welcome. So everybody knows, it's a state monitoring that happens every 3 years. And we get categories, I think, Dr. B, 25 pages of categories where we assign, different types of numbers. When I was in Dr. B's role, it was thrust upon me, and unfortunately, Bill is now in that role. So he's the one putting it all together, and I do want to echo thank you to him for all the work. There are different categories: operations, personnel, governance, fiscal management, and instruction and program. And we basically tell the county and the state, this is what we think we're doing, and then they come in and monitor us and give us a score at the end of this. So this is step one. That we'll submit our DPRs, our numbers tomorrow, and we need to make sure it got approved tonight. So, Dr. B, thank you for all the work there. I appreciate it.
A lot of work.
Round of applause again. Mr. Secretary, can you take the roll?
Mrs. Salgado Cowan?
Yes.
Ms. Scotto?
Yes.
Ms. Smith?
Yes.
Mrs. Cordino?
Yes.
Mr. King?
Yes.
Mrs. Lane?
Yes.
Dr. Connors?
yes.
Ms. Cherry?
Yes.
Motion's carried.
Pupil services, Ms. Cordino.
Be it resolved that the following motions identified as items A and B be approved as presented.
Second.
Mr. Secretary, can you take the roll?
Mrs. Salgado Cowan?
Yes.
Ms. Scotto?
Yes.
Ms. Smith?
Yes.
Mrs. Cordino?
Yes.
Mr. King?
Yes.
Mrs. Lane?
Yes.
Dr. Connors?
Yes.
Ms. Cherry?
Yes.
Motion's carried.
Administration and auxiliary, Ms. Scotto.
Be it resolved that the following motions identified as items A through D be approved as presented.
Motion.
Second. Mr. Secretary, can you take the roll?
Scotto?
Yes.
Ms. Smith? Mrs. Cordino?
Yes.
Mr. King?
Yes.
Mrs. Lane?
Yes.
Mrs. Salgado Cowan?
Yes.
Dr. Connors?
Yes.
Ms. Cherry?
Yes.
Motion's carried.
Old business. Any old business?
Madam
Yes, Dr.
President, be on the lookout for me in January for an email about putting together a next special meeting concerning the New Jersey School Board's Board Member Academy Board Certification. This would be our fourth of our 8th session, and we chose student achievement and the board's role in curriculum. So we'll try and knock that out in January.
Okay, perfect, sounds good. Now that Dr. Connors brought that up, be on the lookout for an email for February, where we want to get together on a Saturday, have open conversation, do some dialoguing, do some bonding, and get down to business and see what we can make happen in 2024. New business. Any new business?
Madam President, real quick, two things. First, everybody got their Piscataway High School multiple activities sports schedule.
Yes.
So take a look at that, and again, emphasizing that, you got the senior nights, try and get out to the senior nights. Second thing is that both Kimberly Lane and myself have been delegates to the New Jersey School Board's Delegate Assembly. And what the Delegate Assembly does, it brings together representatives of local boards of education across the state. It's kind of like the United Nations of local school boards. And what they do is you can submit resolutions, belief statements, so that this body would adopt them and then put them into their policy manual. And then the policy manual is used as an advocacy tool for the state legislature, for the assemblymen and senators on topics. And it's always very interesting because when you get that many people together and start discussing these resolutions, some of the topics you really feel for these, like Plainfield, et cetera. A lot of them were from Plainfield, but Resolution 1 was submitted by Plainfield and Union County, addressed the ability for school districts to classify students as excluded from cohort. What happens is that the schools are, their graduation rates are based on their enrollment. They're finding that a lot of students are out of the country, they're here, and whatever, blah, blah, and it affects their numbers. So that resolution was approved. Resolution 2 was, again, Plainfield proposed policy supporting a provision that non-English speaking career and technical education educators be permitted to obtain certification without English proficiency when subsequently paired with an English-speaking co-teacher. That had a lot of discussion. Actually, that resolution failed. And you were sitting on the Zoom. Resolution 3, submitted by Essex County School Board Association, addressed guidelines for evaluation and selection of instructional materials in New Jersey public schools. This was actually interesting. It was actually an anti-book banning that we renamed. I forget when we renamed it because we wanted to get the word book banning out of it. But actually, that resolution was approved. So Resolution 4 by Franklin Township, Warren County, proposed additional policy language supporting school districts' access to data resources that effectively and thoroughly document prior employment histories and individuals who conduct conduct implicates the physical or emotional abuse of children. That was an old bill that, was dubbed, that passed the draft. And Resolution 5, which actually I had put in, was actually focused on New Jersey School Board's nominating committee and proposed a substitute resolve clause for inclusion in New Jersey School Board's bylaws, amending one of the articles on how the nominating committee would be structured. And after voting to approve that, that was currently approved. So that's my report on the New Jersey School Board's Delegate Assembly.
I just have one thing, so simple and so short. I just got an email, you should say school board, yesterday, that I've officially satisfied my requirements for new board member certification.
That's like, so you reached 30 credits?
20.
No, this, you can only use your first 2 years.
Oh,
So it's your new board member.
Yeah.
So I know all I need to know about being new.
All right.
Okay, anyone else with any other new business? Do not see no other new business. Can I have a motion for adjournment?
Motion.
Second. All in favor?
Aye.
You are adjourned.
Holiday.
Motion. Motion.